Have you ever walked into a restaurant and came out displeased with your experience? I mean, told your friends, bitched online even perhaps? But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're in the right or wrong. The best case scenario for ordinary civilians, like me at least, is that you either get your money back or sometimes even a coupon. But then I forget occasionally there are just people out there who won't exactly let that shit slide. And an even rarer occasion where you'd actually stand up to the multi-billion-dollar company behind your unpleasant dining experience. But as it turns out, we've got a case on our hands. Now this all started a week ago where Luo Yonghao, we'll call him Mr. Hao, visited a Xibei restaurant in Beijing with his colleagues right after a flight. Now Xibei is basically a chain restaurant with about 400 different joints across major cities all around China. They're fairly decent size, by the way. But from this information alone, you can probably tell that this is somewhat of a tough fight for the average Joe. But luckily for Mr. Hao, he's no average Joe. A man of many titles, began his career as a teacher originally, rose to fame for having a very charismatic teaching style. As students began uploading clips of his teachings, founded a controversial blog along the way, gets shut down by the government, starts a tech firm fails, becomes a live streamer. Most impressive feat, however, is selling $15 million worth of goods in a span of a couple hours. Has a reputation for being based, although generally known for more L takes and dub takes. But anyways, now that you're caught up with the pre-law, let's talk about the situation at hand. Hey, I've been dying to get into this. Now what we know is that Mr. Hao's group of 5 in total walks into the restaurant and orders 13 dishes. And then after the meal, Mr. Hao leaves the restaurant, not exactly pleased with his meal, because right after that, he goes online and posts a complaint about those dishes. Let's take a look. So, I haven't eaten Xibei for a long time. I had a meal with my colleagues after getting off the plane today. I found that almost all of them were pre-prepared dishes, all 13. Expensive and really disgusting. I hope the country will soon pass legislation to force restaurants to indicate whether they use pre-prepared food. Now this was posted on Weibo on September 10th, then immediately begins to trend, goes viral, topping search results across the platform. Now by the way, what's actually funny is that if we just take a look at the time he posted this complaint about the restaurant, which was 4:55 p.m. Just 1 minute later, he also takes a shot at another company for selling an iPhone cable for 476 yuan, as if bro was on a rampage because of how shit his meal was. But you know what? That would have been the end of his fiery rage if it wasn't because of this maneuver as the CEO of the company decides to stand against the accusation at hand. So we get a response on the 11th of September, defending the honor of his people. And from this caption alone on the TikTok, translates to exactly, during the whole time Hao was dining, Xibei served 0 pre-prepared dishes. Must sue Luo Yonghao. Right, so bro's pretty confident. But in the TikTok, here's what the CEO says word for word. I am the CEO. We're not serving pre-prepared foods. There is a strict standard on what is defined as pre-prepared foods by the government. Mr. Hao is an influential guy. So if he's putting it in such an extreme way where he says it's all pre-prepared foods, all 13 dishes, then that's disgusting and that can greatly affect our business reputation. And you know what, yeah, that's a pretty valid defense. Like, we're a reputable chain restaurant. I mean, is it likely that 1 or 2 dishes may slip past my line of defense? Yeah, perhaps. But all 13 dishes? Yeah, I'd be standing on business if I was a CEO too. So the interview then asks, so would you sue the guy because he's causing damage to your reputation? Bro's like, hell yeah, your ass getting sued. So after that response, all hell breaks loose as Mr. Hao makes 20 Weibo posts consecutively, condemning the restaurant for not owning up to their mistakes. Look at this is the best one. Beef bones aren't from a broth, oat noodles are from an instant packet, seasoned packets are cut, microwave is used. All response to me is scripted. Damn, bro, even threw in a wordplay at the end. And then at the same time, Mr. Hao announces a $100,000 bounty for anyone who collects evidence on Xibei dishes being pre-prepared, calling for whistleblowers to back up his case. Plus, at the same time, calling on media teams across the nation to investigate Xibei. Mr. Hao ends his round. Now, on the corporation team, Xibei's ally Pang Donglai, which is basically a retail chain and grocery conglomerate, backs up Xibei with this post. Nothing's perfect, thanks to brands like Xibei and Haidilao for helping me find a relatively safe, delicious place to eat, effectively just backing up their brand reputation. Well, I mean, if the other billion-dollar company is backing up this billion-dollar company, then it must be alright. So the media teams arrives at Xibei's restaurant for an investigation, but finds nothing but peak condition kitchens, properly cooked meals, and no matter how you look at it, nothing seems out of the ordinary, which is fair enough. I mean, if I'm running a dodgy joint, and I know someone's coming in to check me out, what are the chances I'm gonna continue my dodgy operations? But then, they found the inevitable. Huh? What's this? Ready to eat products and vegetables? Dude, I don't know about this one. Yeah, and buns, look at this shit. And you know what, the final straw that broke the camel's back, look at this, a pre-packaged lamb leg. And on the package it writes best before September 19th. Wait, September sounds right. It's September 19th, but the media team came on the 11th. September last year. Hey, feels good to be a winner sometimes, especially when you got a class action lawsuit winning evidence on your hands, don't you? So that breaks the internet as clips of this lamb leg piece began trending all over social media. You know, matter of fact, I bet Xibei CEO's first reaction upon finding out that news is, why the hell would I provoke this guy? Holy crap, think about Panonglai, dude. And every other company who decided to back up Xibei. Actually, Panonglai privated his account, by the way, which I'm not gonna lie, is a valid play at this point. You know, and then Haidilau's probably thinking, dude, why the, oh my god, why would you group me with this motherfucker knowing full well that he's got allegations against him literally as we speak? Like when I saw this post, I thought to myself, you know, you could have just said thanks to restaurants like Xibei, period. And that would have been enough to show that you're backing up your boy. Yo, officer, that alleged child predator down the street, yeah, I know, I can vouch for him. He's just, both him and my homeboy Daniel, they good people. This has to be corporate sabotage. And then multiple clips of the CEO backing his company up before the media teams show up began to trend as well. 100% no pre-prepared foods. Bro's popping a vein just standing on business. Look at that. But then Xibei responds to an interview. Check out this clip. You know what? I like how they got like another guy talking this time as if they said to the CEO, dude, you can't be on camera anymore. They know you're lying. We gotta have another dude. And I shit you not. The official response from Xibei's end, or actually, if you're not in the industry, you would think that this is pre-prepared food. But what you actually don't realize is that from a technical perspective, when you prepare the food in store, from a national standard perspective that is, and the chef cooks it, that's re-prepared, that ain't pre-prepared. And then there's also this clip, which the media asks, oh, so how many servings is this? And the chef responds with, oh, this is a 2-day serving because it takes 2 days to unfreeze the product. So the media team then follows up with the question, hey, wait a second, did she just say it takes 2 days to unfreeze? Even though the company claims that everything is freshly prepared on the day, hey, ain't adding up. This math saying, the equation isn't, you know, that shit don't make sense. And then the other chef comes in like, nah, that's the marination process. But it's like she just said, it's the unfreezing process, you know? I feel like at this point, the company needs to just Mr. Hao, on the other hand, fresh-ass content, because the first thing he does is hop on a live stream addressing all the clips that's sent to him by the media teams. And the point of attack he chooses to drive with is, this is actually not safe for children, as Xibei has a children's menu. That's a good one, by the way, the kids. Nobody's safe from those accusations, you know what I'm saying? And then the second point he makes is that he's done his research. There is no technical perspective from the government that ever defines or classifies what pre-prepared foods are. So the claim then from Xibei's side, where they're saying, you don't know what pre-prepared foods are because it's not pre-prepared food from a national standard, is not even valid because there is no official national standards on what is pre-prepared foods. Basically in this stream though, the narrative is maintained that Mr. Hao, he's not really against pre-prepared foods per se, it's just selling pre-prepared dishes while pretending they're selling fresh dishes. That's what grinds his gears. Then he makes more posts, for example this one. How can you extend the shelf life of organic broccoli to 24 months using only freezing technology and no preservatives? And even make it into a dish suitable for children? I woke up in the middle of the night, accidentally fascinated by scientific research. Now, on Xibei's side of the battlefield, there were also rumors that the company literally develops a project titled Xibei's 18,000 Partner Battles Luo Yonghao staff meeting on September 12th. Then finally, Xibei's official response on September 15th issues a formal apology letter on its official Weibo account, promising 9 specific rectification methods changing their fresh food policies. Mr. Hao took him down in 5 days. But then, the CEO isn't done, because his official response to Mr. Hao is that Luo Yonghao is a black-mouthed internet troll, an online gangster truly vile. I don't know, I kind of feel bad. But Mr. Hao has helped me to improve in a very twisted way. I'm sorry for worrying you guys. CEO of Xibei officially out. But then Luo Yonghao's like, wait a minute, you call me an online gangster? And then continued to roast his products for another half an hour. I mean, I've had Xibei before, and honestly, I wouldn't care if someone told me this is pre-prepared, right? Look at that shit look bussin'. But clearly, you know, this isn't about me. But anyways, it's been a long time since we had a duel of this caliber in Chinese history, so thought it was pretty funny.